WB5GRI, W5ABI. A5BE, W5ABI.
W5ABI and 5B. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. Has anybody asked Parks on the Air on 290 now if they could QSY?
I don't think anybody's been able to get hold of him. I cannot hear him direct.
Okay, let me listen. If I can copy him, I'll give him a shout. W5ABI.
Very good, Joe. Thank you.
November 2, Papa, India, Whiskey 5, Oscar Golf.
Okay, Whiskey 5, Oscar Golf, 459.
Yeah, you're quite light with me. You're about a 5 and 5. In Texas, my name is Dale, Delta Alpha Lima Echo. The Air Force's Flyers Club Net, it's a group of veterans from the military, the aviation part of the military armed forces from all branches. We have a net that meets every day at the top of the hour here in about 4 minutes on 290. Would it be possible if you could maybe change frequencies? Hate to ask you, I know you've been on for a long time and you've got a lot of interest in your station there. We hate to have to move the net. There'll be about maybe 20 or 25 folks on the net this morning. It lasts about an hour. They're over?
Yeah, Roger, no problem, man. No problem, and thank you guys for your service. I really appreciate that, man. And I come from a military family myself. So, yeah, not a problem, dude. No problem at all. And you guys have a great net, and you can take the frequency out to QSY. That's not a problem.
It would be much appreciated. You're very much a gentleman. We appreciate your courtesy there. I understand that you are going to move here before the top of the hour. Is that right? Over?
I'm going to move right now. I'm going to QSY right now. So you can take the frequency, but definitely hold the frequency, okay?
That would be great. Thank you very much. W5OG, stand by for the Air Force's Flyers Club Net.
Do you copy?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, Roger. 73, have a great night. Yeah, thanks, Dale. I couldn't copy him. W5OG, W5ABI.
Yeah, he was light with me also there, Joe.
W5ABI, standing by for net.
WB5BRI, are you there, Brian? The W5OG?
Yeah, W5OG, WB5BRI. Yeah, good morning, Dale. Yeah, thank you for asking that guy to move. I could just not hear him at all on my radio, hardly at all. He was in my noise, and I was hearing him light on the SDRs. Over.
Yeah, I heard him, but he was very light here. I did have to turn the antenna toward New York to working there. Anyway, good morning to all. W5OG, we're standing by for the net in about a couple of minutes here.
good morning. This is Whiskey Bravo 5 Delta Romeo India. We'll be net control this morning for the Air Force's Flyers Club Net. Welcome everybody to this edition of that net. I guess this is the Ides of March. That doesn't have anything to do with anything, but anyway, good to be here this morning, and we'll be starting up the Flyers Club Net at this time. We meet every day on this frequency, 14.290. Normally starting up about this time, 10 o'clock Central Time. The Flyers Club consists of military aviation members, both active and retired, and veterans of all the military services, to include pilots, air crew, ground crew, air traffic controllers, missile crews, support crews, and anyone involved with military aviation from the air branches of all of our military services. We also very much like to welcome visitors to the net, and you don't need to be involved with the military or aviation in order to check in. Our purpose is to promote fellowship between those radio amateurs who devote a portion of their lives to support our air forces. This is the control net. We like to use the words contact, relay, check-in, or info to contact net control. We also have a very good website at www.airforcesplural.club.org. That's airforcesplural.club.org, which has a lot of good information about our net and also an online application if you feel qualified and would like to join. Again, that's not necessary in order to check in. Again, my call sign is WB5DRI. My name is Brian, and I'm located down here in the Alamo City in South Central Texas in San Antonio. Our format for this net is we take check-ins and we go down the list allowing each station to give their reports, and then we go back for a second 73 round if there's time. Usually on Saturdays we have a little bit more time and lots of check-ins usually. So anyway, at this time I do have the following stations off of NetLogger this morning. You can check in on NetLogger or over the air, and sometimes we do have a live stream on YouTube from K4YDB. I'm not sure if we'll have that this morning or not yet, but anyway, we do have one on YouTube. If you look up K4YDB live stream, you can see the live stream if it's up this morning. At this time, I do have the following stations off of NetLogger. I have K2SJP, Bob, down in Luce, Florida. Good morning to you, Bob. I have W5PIX, Mobile, Cliff, in Bulverde. I talked to a little bit earlier on Echolink this morning. And good morning to you, Cliff. I have Justin, KB7LAK, and out in Ogden, Utah. Good morning to you, Justin. I have our NetLogger and also the author of our questions this morning, N5BE, Lee, up in Arlington, Texas. Good morning to you, Lee, and thanks for the questions, and thanks for helping out with the NetLogger there. It really makes for a great net to have NetLogger available there. Then I have W7PGW. Good morning to you, Pete, up in Idaho. And then I have John, another one of our net controls out in Havoul, California, WA6LJS in Havoul. Good morning to you, John. Then I have our commander that I talked to also on Echolink a little bit earlier, K1BOB. Good morning to you, Bob, up in Idaho. Then I have Jim, W6WAY in Corona, California. Good morning, Jim. Then I have Carl, KF7GJO, who's in Sparks, Nevada. Good morning to you, Carl. Then I have my older brother, Dale, W5OG. He's up in East Texas. Good morning to you, Dale, and to Carolyn there. Love to you guys. And thanks for helping me with that POTUS station this morning. I just could not hear him at all on the radio, and he was very light on the SDRs. He wasn't all that strong. Anyway, let's keep it moving here on the list. I also have Joe, W5ABI in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Good morning to you, Joe. Then I have Ray, WB2JJO out in New Jersey. Good morning to you, Ray. Good to have you back in here with us. Then I have Mike, King Queen 6 Echo in Anthem, Arizona. Good morning to you, Mike. Then I do have K4YDB. Good morning, Charlie. So I guess the live stream is probably up, so you can check it out. And thanks for all you do with that, Charlie. And Charlie's in Cartersville, Georgia there. So good morning, Charlie. Then I have KF0OPE, that's Mike up in Nebraska. Good morning to you, Mike. And then I have Norm, who's listening to the net from Illinois. It's N9KJN. Good to have you out there listening this morning, Norm. And I'm sorry the conditions are so poor for you there from your location, but good to have you with us on the side there. At this time, I'll stand by for any additional check-ins to the Air Force's Flyers Club net. Members and guests, please call now. This is Net Control, WB5DRI. I hear a mobile station, Whiskey Oscar station. Can you come back again, please? Whiskey Oscar 1 Zulu mobile. Whiskey Oscar 1 Zulu, I believe it is, mobile. Do I have that correct? Roger, roger. Can you give me your name and location? Rob, and I am somewhere near Box Elder, Montana. Okay, Rob in Montana. Very good, Rob. Are you going to be able to stick around for our net? If the conditions allow, but I doubt it. I'm truly... Okay, well, we can put you on the list, and we'll try to get you in there. We'll put you on toward the top of the list there, and we'll see how it goes, Rob. But very good to have you with us this morning, mobile. Have you checked into our net before? Okay, well, that's not a problem. But good to have you with us, and thanks for riding along with us there in your mobile. But we'll try to get you in. Do you have any aviation experience? We just like to ask people that, or military background, over? I was Army Aviation mechanic, software. Okay, very good, Rob. Well, thank you for your service, and you fit right in with this group. We have all services, Army, Air Force, Marine Corps, Navy, aviation folks, and folks that supported aviation. So very good to have you with us this morning, Rob. We'll see if we can't get you in there. Frank, let me get a call out from the West Coast here. John, WA6LJS, could you put out a call, please, John?
Wilco, this is WA6LJS, relaying for Net Control. We're looking for check-ins, either members or visitors. Call now. All's quiet out west. Back to you, Brian.
Okay, John, thank you very much. Let's get a call out from the East Coast. Charlie, are you up? Can you give us a call out, K4YDB?
WB5DRI K4YDB. Yeah, I can relay for you. This is K4YDB relaying for Net Control. We are looking for check-ins to the Air Force's Flyers Club net. Members or guests, call now and we'll get you on the list. It's all quiet here.
Okay, thank you very much, Charlie. Let me go ahead and give the questions, and then we'll go to the top of the list to our mobile stations. Do we have any other stations that need to be short-timers this morning? Any other short-timers? Call now.
Kilo Charlie 0 Lima Alpha Foxtrot.
Okay, Kilo Charlie 0, Lima Alpha Foxtrot. Can you give us your name and location, over?
Yes, good morning. This is Eric, and I'm in central Colorado at the Silver Cliff, West Cliff area.
Okay, Eric, very good. Good to have you with us here this morning. You landed on the Air Force's Flyers Club net. Are you going to be able to stick around?
Affirmative. I'll be able to stick around a little while longer. Was in the Air Force in the early 70s, fire department, and retired now, living out here and enjoying the ham radio, which I'm fairly new at for the last couple of years.
Okay, Eric. Well, thank you for your service there, and we'll get you in here toward the top of the list. That's Kilo Charlie 0 Lima Alpha Foxtrot. Very good. Good to hear you there from Colorado. Let me go ahead and give the questions this morning. We have questions that are courtesy of N5BE, and they're actually concerned some British aircraft and also the Falklands War. So I think they're probably interesting to a lot of folks, and we'll see how that goes. Let's see, the questions are, in the 1950s and 60s, the RAF Strike Command had 3 nuclear bombers that formed what was called the V-Force. And the first question is, can you name the aircraft, the British RAF aircraft in Strike Command that were not part of this V-Force? And the first answers, the possible answers, and the first answers are Alpha, the Vickers Valiant, Bravo, the Avro Vulcan, Charlie, the Hanley Page Victor, Delta, the Armstrong Vantage, and Echo, the de Havilland Vengeance. Again, those answers, we're looking for the 3 aircraft that we're looking for the 2 aircraft that were not part of the V-Force. 3 of these aircraft were part of the V-Force of the British. So the possible answers are Alpha, Vickers, Valiant, Bravo, Avro, Vulcan, Charlie, Hanley, Page, Victor, Delta, Armstrong, Vantage, and Echo, de Havilland, Vengeance. So 3 of these aircraft were in the V-Force and 2 were not. We're looking for the 2 that were not. So 2 of these answers are correct. You have to pick out the ones that were not part of V-Force. And the bonus question is, which V-Force aircraft, which of these aircraft, of all of these aircraft, participated in the 1982 Falklands War? Which V-Force aircraft, or bomber aircraft in the V-Force, participated in the 1982 Falklands War? And the possible answers are Alpha, the de Havilland Vengeance, Bravo, the Vickers Valiant, Charlie, the Armstrong Vantage, Delta, the Avro Vulcan, and Echo, the Hanley Page Victor. Again, on this question, we're looking for the aircraft that participated in the 1982 Falklands War from this list. Alpha, de Havilland Vengeance, Bravo, Vickers Valiant, Charlie, Armstrong Vantage, Delta, Avro Vulcan, Echo, Hanley Page Victor. And the answers are matched pairs, so if you get the 2 correct on the top, you'll have the 2 correct on the bottom. So Lee says, look carefully. I've given you a big hint here, and there's more than one answer. There are 2 answers that are correct on both the top and bottom. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. First up on the list, we have our mobile stations, and then we'll take our visitor there, who's out in Colorado. let's start with K2SJP Mobile down in Florida. Good morning, Bob. You're up for the net. WB5DRI.
K2SJP, you're up, Bob. I don't hear you, Brian.
Yeah, I don't hear him either. Well, we'll come back to Bob. Let's go ahead and skip over him, and we'll try another mobile station. He may be having a problem with his station or something there, or he may be tied up at the moment there with something else. Anyway, break with K2SJP. We'll come back to him in just in a minute. Let's go to W5PIX Mobile. Cliff, you're up for the net. Cliff, again, good morning. WB5DRI. Is he talking? I'm not hearing Cliff.
I don't hear anything, Brian. I got 2 SDRs open. I don't hear them.
Well, we'll come back to him. Let's keep it moving here. Let's try, we've got a visitor up in, that's mobile there in Montana, W01 Zulu. That's Rob. Rob, you're up for our net. Good morning, WB5DRI.
Good morning. I'm still here. QRM now, but I can still kind of hear you. This is Rob. One Zulu. And I could barely hear the choices of answers. I don't think it was A or B, and a wild guess maybe which C was the conflict.
Okay, Rob. Well, not a problem. We just do this question thing kind of as a fun trivia contest every day, and you don't have to even participate necessarily. You know, it's just something we do. But good to hear you this morning, Rob, and thanks for checking in with us and joining us and riding along with us this morning. Good to have you with us, and do come back and join us again, and check out our website, airforcesflyersclub.org. Let's go, we'll break with you, and let's go to another mobile here. Well, no, I guess we got all our mobiles. I think we got all our mobile stations. Let's try Justin out in Utah, and then we'll go to our visitor in Colorado, KB7LAK. Justin, good morning. You're up for the net, sir. WB5DRI. Is Justin talking?
I don't hear him, Brian. And I heard him talking to Cliff earlier. He may have been a mobile short time, but I'm not sure about that.
Okay, well, he may have been on the way to work there or something. So we'll see if we can't check back with him later. Let's go ahead and keep it moving here. Next up would be Kilo Charlie 0 Lima Alpha Foxtrot. Eric, nice to have you with us this morning, Eric, from Colorado. You're up, sir. What do you have for our net? WB5DRI.
Kilo Charlie 0 Lima Alpha Foxtrot. Yeah, just first time visiting you folks. November 7th, Whiskey Sugar.
Our frequency isn't used in net in progress.
Always interested to hear what you guys have to say. Over.
I'm sorry, Eric, you were a little light with me on that transmission. I'm not sure what you were asking. Can you come back again?
Yeah, we have a problem with the transmissions out here. You guys fade in and out, but you're coming in pretty strong right now. Do you copy to RV?
I hear you good here, Eric, at W5OG. I can relay. Did you have an answer for the question, Eric? Over.
Negative. I'm just learning for the first time by listening to you folks on the line.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us on the net, Eric. You're welcome anytime. And, yeah, he's just listening, Brian, and he didn't hear all of the questions, so we're kind of in and out with him. Back to net, W5OG Relay.
Okay, Dale, thanks for the relay there. And Eric, good to have you with us this morning. You're a little bit light with me, but I was hearing you, but I just didn't catch all of it, quite all your transmission. But good to hear you this morning. And it's not necessary that you answer the question at all. I understand completely about that, and it's tough when you're just new to the net or mobile or whatever, what have you. So, but good to hear you from Colorado. Break with you. Let's go ahead and keep it moving here. Let's see. Next up on our list would be actually our net logger, N5BE. Good morning, Lee, and thanks for all you do for the net here. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI, N5B. Good morning, Brian. And good morning to everybody on the net. Well, we're not doing real well on answering the question. So, first of all, I want to say a shout out to Bob there, W01Z. A kindred spirit there, Bob. I was also a 68E20 initially, so cool train. Oh my gosh, that was a good school. All right, on the question, if you had watched the news during the Falklands War, and I know Brian and I did, we sure did, you would know which aircraft are involved in this. And one of them sure made the air show circuit back in the 80s, hit all the military air shows. Also, another big hit was in a James Bond movie. So, another hint. So, let's see, what else? Yeah, and these aircraft, the ones that are in the bonus question, I believe at the time, that was the longest bombing mission in aviation history, and I think that record held until the B-2 sortie out of Whiteman over to the Middle East. So this was a round-trip bombing mission that two of these aircraft performed in, taking out runways on Stanley there in the Falklands. So a little bit of aviation history there. So that's it for me, Brian. We'll stand by for the answer at the top. And thanks for letting me provide the question today. WB5DRI N5B.
Yeah, N5BE, WB5DRI. Well, thanks again for the great questions, Lee. And yeah, to add to what Lee was saying there, these aircraft deployed down to Ascension Island, I believe, and flew from there. And it was still, I think, like a 16-hour mission down and back from Ascension to Stanley to bomb and then fly back to Ascension. So it was quite a mission. They had to be refueled several times on the way down and back. So interesting stuff. I think one of them even landed in Brazil. I had a problem. I had to land in Brazil. I could not make it all the way back to Ascension. Anyway, let's keep it moving here. Break with N5BE. Let's go to W7PDW. That's Pete, I believe, up in Idaho there. Good morning, Pete. You're up for the net. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI. Good morning to you, sir. This is Whiskey 7, Papa Golf Whiskey up here in we're currently dumping snow again. First off, put me down for Delta. For those for my instance, that's what I'm going to say. And also some thanks to November 5 BE, their lead, for providing those, and a little bit of comments for this video. I also enjoyed watching you looking at the QRZ page. Good pictures up there. I love seeing all the aviation pictures right there. Shout out to all of my visitors who are listening this morning. I caught a couple of you. Yesterday I caught Eric real well. So welcome you guys. And looks like Eric's also a Yankee guy. I'm also on the FT991 Alpha. So just to let the group know that I've been watching some Paul Rito. California stations who are listening, and there's been very they're live on the camera, and it's really interesting to me because I've been watching them the last couple of years. Last year, those did not, the eggs did not hatch. So these eggs, and there's some chicks in the nest. Unfortunately, they lost a chick yesterday, I think. I'm not a big bird guy, but I really do love bald eagles, being from Alaska myself, growing up in Alaska. Nest cam on the chat if y'all are on the net logger, or you can see the live net. You'll see the female and the chicks right now. Like I said, one drop, but there's two chicks in the nest. It's pretty cool. Not something that I normally do, but I enjoy clicking on there every now and again, and whenever she gets up, or even the males in the nest, and she's out getting fish, whenever she gets up, the person on the camera, there's always someone monitoring the camera at the chicks, and there's someone recording all the data about the birds, and they're studying these birds. So that's all I'll say. From cold, 28 degrees up here in North Idaho, in 20 miles north of Coeur d'Alene. So waving the hand to everybody. Thanks for doing the net this morning, and the questions were good. And I look forward to hearing from what everybody has to say and how everybody's doing. Fellow Idaho down there, Commander K1 BOD. So this is not coming around for the 73 round. I have to bow out at the top of the hour for another net. But hello to everybody. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Question down there. Trying to get your head around damage. And I'll turn it back to net controller WW5ENZ. Everybody from Whiskey 7, Papa Golf Whiskey.
Okay, Pete, very good. W7PGW, WB5DRI. Well, good to have you with us this morning, Pete, and got your answers there as Delta and Echo, I believe. So, very good. Let's keep it moving here. Let's go out to Hamul, to one of our net controllers out there this morning. Good morning again, John. WA6LJS, you're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Okay, thank you, Brian. WB5DRI. This is WA6LJS, where I'm suffering a kind of a bad sneeze from wearing Chinese boy. It's been a long time since I've had this. Anyway, good conditions today. I'm hearing everybody locally, and I've got the SCRs on also. We've had rain on and off for the last 2 days, all last night on and off. And right now it's cleared up a little bit, but it's about 49 degrees. And I finally got my internet back. We had apparently so much rain had got into some of the underground cable links down below me, and they cut off internet, and it took them almost 2 days, but about a day and 3/4 before they restored the internet. I was able to, I couldn't have it yesterday on the net, but then I experimented around, and I used my cell phone as a hotspot and linked the cellular data to my laptop, so I was able to use the internet a little bit to get some things done yesterday. But we have full internet now. They fixed the problem. Let's see. Answer to the question. I'm going to copy the station before me. I was thinking of that anyway. I think it's Delta and Echo. And because they're matched pairs, it's another Delta Echo. So Delta Echo for both questions. And we'll see how that works. Anyway, back to you, Brian. And you're coming in very nicely here. You're about 10 over 9 as usual. WB5DRI, WA6LJS.
Okay, John, very good. WA6LJS, WB5DRI. Well, you're about the same with me, John. Good signal. Sorry to hear about your trouble with your internet there and also your cold there. You sound a little scratchy. Hope you get over that quickly here. So anyway, good to hear you this morning, John. We got your answers as Delta and Echo. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to our commander up in Idaho there also, K1BOB. Good morning, Bob. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Good morning, Brian. K1BOB here. I hope you hear me okay. I'm pulling you in pretty well on a wire there, which is covered in snow. It snowed last night pretty darn good. Oh, I hope this thing stops. Anyway, we must probably have another 6 inches of snow overnight, I would guess. And all my wires are covered, and it's showing it in a slightly higher SWR of 1.62 as I'm transmitting here on about 800 watts. So I'm hearing most folks here pretty well. And, this question brings back memories to me. I think I talked about the Vulcan many moon ago. I'm pretty familiar with the Vulcan, having been in one, having flown the red flag with one on the ramp. And I want to testify that it is the loudest, noisiest aircraft I have ever heard. It doesn't matter how far you get away from it. It is terrible screeching noise out of that Vulcan. And yeah, it did go down there on one of the very longest flights there, and it was right at the edges of what that aircraft could do. And I do remember reading about that quite a bit. And I talked to the boys, and they used to come over to Red Flag down at Nellis Air Force Base. It was in the 80s, and they'd always bring a C-130 in transport. They loaded it up with all those bad things, cigarettes, and they'd give them out at the bar at night. I'm not a smoker, but they would do it, and they'd also bring back some pretty strong ales with them by the keg, and of course we partook in that, and one of the next morning with those guys. That was around the age where we still had exotic dancers in the options club. And I think after that red flag, they decided to cancel all those exotic dancers because boys would be boys. Anyway, good old days. Maybe not so the good old days. Anyway, I'm going to go with Delta. I'm very familiar with the Vulcan. They are noisy, even 100 yards away on the ramp. That shrieking noise of a Vulcan, you cannot get out of your head. And that's even with a helmet on and earplugs in an F-111 sitting on the ramp staring over at them. So they did fly with us down in Red Flag, but we take conflicted routes, so we never saw one. But they were very, very slow compared to us. Going on to the target. And we see them in a debrief every day. Let's see. So put me down to the Vulcan and and Echo. So and I didn't realize this. So thanks for bringing it to the occasion here. The B names there, Leon. That's totally Valiant, the Vulcan, and the Very good. And so looking now for Delta Echo, I guess. I took a minute to get my head around this question, so I didn't muck it all up. But, well, I do have a minimum running line here, and John is never wrong on these things, so I'm going to go with what John and Steve said there. So with that, I'll turn it back there from cold, frosty Idaho still. One of these days it's going to melt out of here. K1BOB. Maybe I'll move to Florida. I don't know. Over to you, Brian. Good signal this morning. K1BOB, back to WB5 DRI.
Okay, Bob, real fine. K1BOB, WB5DRI. Well, very interesting on that aircraft being one of the loudest and noisiest that you heard there. And got your answers there, Bob. Interesting stuff all around. And got your answers as Delta and Echo. So we'll keep it moving here. Break with you. Let's go out to California now, to another California station, and to Jim in Corona, W6WAY. Jim, you're up for the net. WB5DRI. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. The temperature here on is supposed to get up to 63, and my answers are back over for you WB5DRI. This is W6WAY.
Okay, Jim, very good. Got your answers there, Delta and Echo, and you're coming in pretty well here on my electric radio here this morning from Corona. Good to hear you this morning. Break with you. Let's go to Carl, KF7ZJO, out there in Sparks, Nevada. Carl, good morning, sir. You're up. WB5DRI.
Well, good morning. KF7ZJO here. Very windy Saturday morning here. Nice well. My latest cook published yesterday. I will tell you with Okay, so nothing else. Let's see here. The question. Boy, this is another one, Brian, that I don't have a clue. So I think I'm going to select answer Foxtrot, some of the seriously, I don't know, buddy. So I'm going to have to go to another line this morning and EE. We're either all going to be right or all going to be wrong on this one. But got to get back on this morning, so I'll be with you to the end. I'll send it back. WB5DRI, KF7GJ.
Okay, Carl, very good. Your signal has come up quite a bit from when you started there, but sounding good from Nevada this morning. And we got your answers there as Delta and Echo. So let's keep it moving here. We'll break with KF7GJO. Let's go to W5OG, my older brother up in northeast Texas there. Good morning again, Dale. And love to you and Carolyn. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Okay, Brian, very good morning again. W5OG here. And sorry about John's cold. It's obvious there, John. You got scratchy voice. Hopefully you can get over that quickly. And good morning to everyone else. And yeah, enjoying it. Beautiful weather. We had some rain that came through this morning unexpectedly, at least for me. In fact, there was lightning early in the morning, and it didn't come within 10 to here, so we were all okay. But anyway, interesting, and the plants got a little bit of water, so that was a good thing. As far as the question, let's see, I was going to comment. I'm afraid that what's happening is that that expedition, the VU4AX, is showing up on 285, listing up 5 to 10, and that will clobber our net. I think that's what's happening, but I have not heard the VU4 yet. So, but it may just be starting. I haven't seen it on the spots yet. So I could be wrong. It could be something else, but the way they're calling it, it sounds like they're after the rare DX that's over there now, VU4. So anyway, if you haven't worked him, they're around, but unfortunately they use 285 as their calling frequency on 20, sideband at least. As far as the question, yeah, Delta, and Echo for me. Very interesting, and I am familiar with the Vulcan operation out of Ascension. Having been to Ascension, it kind of piques your interest. It's an interesting place to ever visit. I'll leave it at that. Of course, Bob in X6RG spent some time on Ascension, but he's not on here this morning. But yeah, thank you for a good question there, Lee. And I'll stick with you to the end here, Brian. I don't know. You might want to, if it gets really bad, we may need to curtail and go over to Echo Link for the 73 round. But I'll leave that up to you, Brian. So back to net, and thanks for doing the Saturday net as always. WB5DRI, W5OG.
Okay, Dale. Good to hear you this morning, Dale. W5OG, WB5DRI, and we got your answers too. There's Delta and Echo there, and yeah, I wish it were possible for you to send some of that rain down here to us, and we could sure use some down here. I'm glad you guys got some anyway, but boy, it's dry. It's just really getting bad. And water is expensive when you have to water, too. So, anyway, let's go ahead and keep it moving here. Next up on our list would be Joe out in Las Cruces. Good morning again to you, Joe. W5ABI, you're up for our net. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI and the Flyers, W5ABI. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, the rest of the Flyers. Kind of an overcast day here. We're supposed to get some rain a little later on, which we can always use here in the desert. Currently 43. We're only going up to 55, so we're waiting for those 70s and high 70s to come back. It should next week, I think. Anyhow, on the question, I'm going to go with DD and Echo. So DE for my answer. We'll be here to the bottom, and thanks for running the net. WB5DRI, W5ABI.
Okay, Joe, that's very good. W5ABI, WB5DRI. Well, your usual 5-9 plus with me here in San Antonio. Good signal, Joe. Good to hear you this morning. And we got your answers there as Delta, and Echo. You're in the line with a lot of the folks here this morning. So let's keep it moving here. We'll break with you, and let's go out to New Jersey to Ray. WBTJJO. Good morning, Ray. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Good morning, Brian. WB5DRI. From WBTJJO. Well, I'll tell you, Brian, the Saturday morning nets are pretty tough because everybody in their brother around there, and like Dale said, there's a damn position on there, and boy, I'll tell you what, I'm thankful for the SPRs. At least I can hear you there without any problem. What we have here, it's not a very pretty good day here. It's cloudy, 46 degrees, and very damp outside. we're supposed to get that rain. It's coming across the United States, and we're supposed to get that rain on Sunday. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, today is a stay-in day, so I'll be playing around here on the bench for sure. As far as the question goes, Brian, I will be perfectly honest with you, sir. I have no clue. I have no clue whatsoever. I don't remember what happened on the crossing. But anyway, I'm going to go with the rest of the guys. They're saying Delta Echo, so I'm going Delta Echo also. And if we all go down with the ship, that's fine. But anyway, that's my answer for today. Good net for sure. You got a good bunch of guys on here. But I'll tell you what, though, with that big expedition going on, it's pretty tough to copy. So that's, and I can hear you on the electric radio when they're not on, for sure. So back over to you, Brian. WB5DRI from WB2JJF.
Okay, Ray. Well, I'm hearing you light on the radio and very well on the SDR. So good to hear you this morning. And I got your answers there. You're going to get in the line, the lemming line there with Delta and Echo. So very good. Let's keep it moving here. Let's go out to Anselm, Arizona, to Mike out there. King Queen 6 Echo. Good morning, Mike. You're up for a net. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI.
Okay, Mike, very good. All that, you're strong on my radio this morning. KQ6E, WB5DRI. Sounding good there from Anselm, and that spring training will be over. I guess a couple of weeks, the regular season of baseball will come around. I know the Rangers are winning a lot of games. I hope they can keep that up in the regular season. But anyway, and sure glad to hear that your wife is recovering well there, Mike. Sure glad to hear she's doing good. So very good on all that, and we got your answer there. It's Delta Echo there. You're going to jump in that lemming line as well. So break with you. Let's go to our live stream guy, and another one of our net controls this morning, K4YDB out in Cartersville, Georgia. Charlie, K4YDB, you're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Oh, what net is this?
Station breaking. What you got for the net?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wondering what net this was.
This is the Air Force's Flyers Club net.
Okay, thanks.
Roger. This is K4YDB. WB5DRI is K4YDB. Morning, Brian. Again, morning to all the Flyers out there and all the visitors we have. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Right now, it is currently 66 degrees here. That's supposed to be our high for today, but it's showing we're already up to 72. Sun is trying to peek out. We've got some pretty good stuff coming here in the forecast, a tornado outbreak is expected. Strong tornadoes likely, and that's what they just posted up on the Weather Channel over here. Not looking forward to that. It's supposed to come in this afternoon or early this evening and start then, but I got to go out there and pull all my stuff off the porch and put it all back away again. So keep it handy just inside the door, just in case I have to go out there and put it back out again. But anyway, as far as the question goes, I'm just gonna go with the pack, Delta and Echo. WB5DRI K4YDB. I'm back to net.
Okay, Charlie, very good. K4YDB, WB5DRI. Well, good to hear you this morning, Charlie. And thanks for all you do there with the live stream. And, I'm sorry to hear about I saw that on the weather last night that they were predicting tornadoes and some bad weather for across the south, actually, for a lot of the southern U.S. And sorry to hear about that. I hope that bad weather stays away from you guys and everybody else out there, actually. They could use a little rain possibly, but they definitely don't need the other stuff. So anyway, Charlie, we got your answer there, and let's keep it moving here. Let's go to Mike up in Nebraska. He's up in Clarkson, Nebraska. And Mike, I guess you must be between flights or something yourself there. So good to have you with us this morning. You're up, sir. KF0OPE, WB5DRI.
Well, good morning, Brian, and all the flyers and visitors on the net this morning. Not too great of conditions. Brian, you're strong as usual. That Magic G5 RV is doing its work today. But a lot of stations are kind of weak for me here today. It's 29 degrees on its way up to a high of I think about 45. Really blustery and kind of nasty outside. But we got a little rain last night. So I guess we'll just wait for the next warm day. After the question, I'm going to say Delta Echo, Delta Echo. Love this question. Love the story. And if anybody hasn't read that book, and I can't think of the name of it, but about the Falkland Islands trip they did with the Vulcans, you guy ought to read it. So anyway, Delta Echo, back to you. I'll be here till the bottom. KF0OPE, back to WB5DRI.
Okay, Mike, well, you're sounding good this morning. You're over the 9 mark with me as usual, and we usually have a pretty good path, but you're always blasting in here to San Antonio. So good to hear you this morning. We got your answers there as Delta Echo. So let's keep it moving here. And sounds like you got a little bit cooler weather. We actually are a little cooler this morning ourselves. We're only going to be up to about 79 for the high today. So we'll take it. It's just about ideal. Anyway, break with KF0OPE. Let's go to another one of our northwestern stations up in Washington State. Bob up there, W7ASH. Bob, good morning. You're up for the net, WB5DRI. I need a relay on Bob. He's a little light with me this morning.
Frequency is in use. Frequency is in use.
Is Bob still talking? Is anybody here in W7ASH, WB5DRI?
I got nothing on him, Brian. I got 2 SCRs open.
Okay, well, he may have had something he had to do there. So let's go ahead and keep it moving. Let's see. It looks like we have another visitor, Bob, out in another New Jersey station, actually, into Lima Oscar. Into Lima Oscar. If you're still with us this morning, Bob, it's your turn. WB5 DRI. Is anybody here into Lima Oscar? Right. Frequencies in use.
November 2, Lima Oscar, you're up for the net there, Bob, if you're there, W5OG relay. Nothing here, Brian.
Okay, well, that is the bottom of the list as I have it. Did I miss any stations, or do we have any last-minute check-ins for the Flyers Club net here this morning? This is WB5 DRI Net Control. Please call now.
WW5ENZ realize this frequency's in use.
Yeah, WW5ENZ. Good morning, Mike. Let's go ahead and take your turn. I think that Dale's right. I think they're probably calling split on this frequency, and so they're not hearing us. Go ahead and take your turn, Mike. WW5ENZ, WB5DRI.
Okay, WB5DRI, WW5ENZ. Yeah, I was just stuck in woodpile. We had some pretty heavy wind events yesterday. I think we hit 60, maybe 65-mile-an-hour winds, and the X-beam stayed up there. So Joe is just like hanging in there, so that's a good thing. But it's just funny, it knocked down the woodpile. It's a long woodpile, too. So it took me all morning to restack it all. And we had a big old trampoline blow by our yard and went to a neighbor's house and whacked them and everything. I don't know. It was really insane. And then, of course, it kicked off a bunch of fires. I don't know if they made the news, but there was about, 20 or 30 little fires around Oklahoma City, and mostly north of Oklahoma City, and there was one south. The closest it got to us is about 10 miles. But, everybody lost power because the power lines were all blown down. But I had a generator, so I had a water pump and a generator and I had a hose. So I wasn't going to, put up with any fire crap. Anyway, a great net. I missed most of it. Like I said, I've not been here, but I just thought I'd pop in here. And I turned it on, and I heard those people calling CQ. And I'm going, holy crap, they can't hear there's a net on. Anyway, other than that, I probably need to get on in a lemming line. I don't even know what the question is, but I'll listen up here for the answer. WW5ENZ, turning it back to you. I'm sorry. Back to you. Net control. Let me just say that.
Okay, Mike, not a problem. WW5ENZ, WB5DRI. Yeah, the questions had to do with the aircraft that made up the RAF Strike Command. There were 3 nuclear bombers that formed the V-Force of the British, and we were looking, Lee's question is to name the aircraft that were not part of the V-Force out of 5 aircraft that were mentioned. And the bonus question was which V-Force aircraft participated in the 1982 Falklands War. And there were a couple of answers here that were right on both questions. But that's the questions this morning. And the aircraft, on the first question, I'll go ahead and give the answers here real quick. Were the Vickers Valiant, the Avro Vulcan, the Hanley Page Victor, the Armstrong Vantage, and the de Havilland Vengeance And actually, most folks got it right on the net this morning. It was Delta, Delta, and Echo, Echo. And the two aircraft that were not part of the V-Force were the Armstrong Vantage, the de Havilland Vengeance. The three that were part of the V-Force were the Vickers Valiant and the Avro Vulcan and the Hanley Page Victor. And the bonus question was, which V-Force aircraft participated in the 1982 Falklands War? And the answers there were, of course, the Avro Vulcan, which was Delta, and the Hanley Page Victor, which was Echo. And the British actually, I believe, used the Victor bombers. They turned them into tankers, and they used them to tank the Vulcans from Ascension Island down and back, down to Stanley and back during the Falklands War. So a very interesting mission, very tough, long mission, about a 16-hour mission, I believe. Anyway, let me go back to the top of the list and see if we can get two stations that we missed this morning, and then we'll swing over to N5BE for some more on all this information about the Falklands and these aircraft, because it's a great question this morning. Let me see if I can get K2SJP in there. Bob, if you're still with us this morning, you're up for the Flyers. K2SJP, Bob, WB5DRI. I don't hear Bob. Let me see if W5PIX is able to get in there now. He's also mobile this morning. Cliff, W5PIX, you're up again. WB5DRI. I'm not hearing Cliff either this morning. Unfortunately, I think the conditions are not ideal all the way around, but I'm hearing quite a few stations, but not quite as good as it is some mornings. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off after we have Lee give a little more about his questions this morning. N5BE, go ahead, Lee. Thanks for the questions again, and thanks for doing the net logger this morning. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI N5B. Well, you're welcome, Brian. Enjoyed doing it. I'm starting to get tapped out on British stuff. I may have to switch subjects, but Pete, we're gonna have to keep an eye on Pete. He got that one right away, and then of course the grown-ups came in and just piled on. So that was the end of that question. So well done, everybody. And I've got a Falcon story, but I'm not gonna hold it today. Well, I'll save it for another day. And tomorrow the question is going to be on United States World War II small arms, and then there'll be a bonus question on German armored vehicles. And we're going to bust some myths tomorrow with those two questions. So we'll have fun with that. WB5DRI N5B 73, Brian. Good job on the net. Thank you. 73.
Okay. Lee, very good. N5BE. Again, thank you for the questions, and I enjoyed them very, very much. And I remember watching the Falklands War, because you could see it on the news every night. In 1982, I was TY actually to Keesler for the Air Force, going to computer school at that time. And every night when I'd come home from school, I would watch it on TV, because they had all the coverage and everything. And I think it was the first big war when they used the anti-ship missiles. And boy, those things were really deadly. A lot of British, I think there were about 10 British ships that were sunk, and of course the British sunk a lot of the ships of the Argentinians, including the very large cruiser that they had, the General Belgrano. So it was a very a terrible conflict, really. I think there were too many people that were lost anyway, but that was part of the British's legacy history about the Falklands. Anyway, the aviation part of it was very interesting too. It was interesting to watch all of that at the time. Anyway, I guess I'm rattling on here a little too long. We are in a little bit in conflict. I think I'll forego the 73 round here this morning and switch over to Echolink. We do have a conference node on Echolink that's Alpha Foxtrot Charlie, and all stations are welcome to join us over there this morning. We'll let the DXers carry on. They're obviously using this frequency as a frequency to receive listen on, so it is causing some interference to our net, and likewise, I guess we're getting in their way. But anyway, I'll just say thank you very much for participating in the net this morning, and God bless our troops, and God bless the USA. And this is WB5DRI, now closing the Air Force's Flyers Club net, and they're returning the frequency to normal amateur use. And everybody's welcome to join us on our conference node on Echolink AFSC. 73 WB5DRI clear.